everyone, and welcome back. Welcome to Live Full Out, where we are learning how to live our lives with purpose and meaning and joy, and how to make an impact and a difference in this world. This morning, I have author and speaker Amberly Lago, and she is just an amazing individual. You are going to love her story. She shares vulnerably about how she survived a motorcycle accident, and she's written a book about it called True Grit and Grace, and she's now in the process of promoting her book and all that entails. So you are just in for a treat today as you get to meet Amberly. She is delightful, and you're going to love her story. So Amberly, tell us a little bit about how your book came about. What made you decide to write a book?
Oh, well, thank you for having me on. I was really inspired to write my book because I was a dancer and a fitness trainer, and just my whole life was about health, wellness, and fitness. And in 2010, I was coming home from work. I had just finished training clients, and I had ran my best time ever. I was a runner and I was in track. And on my way home, I was hit by an SUV. And I had 34 surgeries to repair my femoral artery, which was severed, and to piece by piece put my leg together, that I had a 1% chance of saving. They were going to amputate it. And so by the grace of God, I made it through, and I was on my way to recovery, but the pain just wouldn't stop. And when I went in for a checkup, and I was so proud to be upright and on crutches, I was bedridden for 3.5 months, and I was finally able to stand up, and so proud. And the doctor said, well, you have something very serious. You have a nerve disease called CRPS, nicknamed the suicide disease. That's
wow.
You're going to live your life, the rest of your life in a wheelchair. And I was crushed. And through my journey of recovering and just every day wanting to, just trying to keep putting one foot in front of the other, I was inspired to share my story because, it took me 2 years. It took me 2 years to finally be able to walk again and then run again on the beach with my daughter. But I wanted to share my experience so others can claim their own resilience within themselves, to never give up, and to, despite, what others may say, or whatever you think whatever your circumstances are, even if they've narrowed your possibilities, that you can have the life that you've always imagined.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Amberly. Wow. So here you're given this diagnosis of this horrendous disease, and you've overcome by putting one foot in front of the other. That is living with impact and purpose. That's living your full out. Do you still have pain?
I do have pain every day, and I've tried every kind of treatment, from homeopathic to Eastern, Western medicine. And what I have found, and what I talk a lot about in my book, is really that the key to resilience is a combination of mind, body, and spirit. I was devastated and spiraled down into a depression because not only was my leg completely scarred and I was in pain and it didn't function, I had to reinvent myself. I could no longer do those fitness videos that I did and the fitness modeling. I mean, my whole life was about dancing and fitness. And, when I was told I would never wear shorts again because of all my scars, I at first was crushed, and then I thought, I used that to motivate me to wear shorts again. And I not only wore shorts, but honestly, I hated my leg. I hated, and hate's a 4-letter word in our family. I mean, and it wasn't until I had a shift in my perspective, when a doctor that saved my leg, I went in for a visit, and he put my leg in his lap, and he looked at my leg like it was a work of art, like it was a masterpiece, that he saved it. And I thought, if he can look at my leg that way, then I can learn to love it. And that was really the shift in how I started to have self-love again, is day by day just starting to love my leg and accept it. And I grew up in Texas where it was like, suck it up and don't show vulnerability. And I have learned through my journey, it taught me that actually by not sucking it up but all the time, that did help me get through a lot of those surgeries. I mean, God, that was tough, but embracing my vulnerabilities and accepting what I call my new normal, I was able to start to love my leg again, and I was really able to start to be on this healing journey and claim my resilience. But
Mm.
it really is the body, mind, and spirit, because I was broken in every way. I was broken mentally, spiritually, physically, and I had to really come up with those tools, a new toolbox that I could use every day to keep me going, because living in pain every day, it's you have to really embrace gratitude. I
Yeah,
have to, and people say, how can you be grateful when you're in pain? How do you embrace gratitude when you're in pain?
a great
And to
question.
me, it's the little things, even just embracing or being grateful for the fact that my pain is a 5 that day rather than an 8.
Mm.
It's just, and just embracing that I am able to stand, that I have my leg, that I
Yeah.
have a family that loves and supports me. So it's been a journey, but I want to share the tools that I have learned throughout this journey.
Amber, I think one of the most profound things that you said is, this doctor picked up your leg and looked at it so tenderly and lovingly and as a masterpiece, and how the shift didn't happen. Your leg didn't change. Nothing shifted with your leg, but something shifted with your mind. And that makes all the difference in the world for
Yeah.
living a life of joy and purpose. And I mean, everything that we do starts here. And so I just love that shift that you could finally embrace yourself and see your leg as just a beautiful work of art. 34 surgeries, and a surgeon who was willing to do that. That is literally his art. That's phenomenal. I have goosebumps just thinking
Oh,
about how
thank you.
he, masterfully put the pieces back together and saved your leg. I mean, it's a miracle.
He, he's in my book. I had a surgery. All of a sudden, they had done all these surgeries and put my leg together. And then suddenly my leg was giving me more pain, and I could bend my lower leg. Like I could bend it. And I went in and I talked to him, and he crossed his arms and he said, "That's not right." He took an x-ray, and I had broken the titanium plates in my leg. So
Wow.
he had to do a he did a 10-hour surgery. They had to go in, take the broken pieces of titanium out and put a rod in. And I had to have another doctor, which was a plastic surgeon, that removed the muscle flap that he had done so he could open up my leg. And he said, "Oh my God, I've never seen Dr. Wiss sweat like that in my life." And I thought, you know what? He didn't give up on me because I didn't give up on myself. And he knew
Yes.
how hard that I wanted to be able to keep my leg, and I wanted to be able to walk. And he knew how hard. So, it's showing up. Your healing journey is really showing up and doing whatever you can to work through it. You know, no one can. I had him to fix my leg, but no one else can do the healing for you like you can do with your mindset. And like you said, it does. It starts with a mindset. And I could easily have taken that road, because I was going down there. I was in a dark place. I was like going down that road of self pity. And I thought, I have a choice here and I have to do something about it. I want to set a good example for my daughters. I want them to, no matter what they look like or matter, I want them to embrace exactly who they are and be proud of it and be themselves, authentically be themselves. And so
Yeah.
that is the example I want to set for them. And and others, and just to do what they can to make it through for their recovery journey.
Right. Well, Amberly, I love that you said, um, you know, my doctor continued to work on me because I saw it in myself. And we teach people how to treat us, right? So by you believing and you pushing forward, he believed in you as well and your ability to do that. It's so connected how other people treat us, how other people just see us because how we see ourselves. So important. I love that.
Yeah, well, he knew I was pretty crazy because in the hospital, I asked them if I could have a pull-up bar. So I had like a pull-up bar installed above my hospital bed because even though I was stuck in this bed, I had dumbbells and I did whatever I could for my upper body. I did pull-ups so I could, I was the only person on that orthopedic floor that could use my own bedpan. My nurses loved me because they're like, okay, she can do it on her own. But I wanted to do whatever I could to keep my body strong, and spiritually I kept my connection strong, and I pray every day. But and that, mind, I tried to keep, even though I was stuck in that bed, I did whatever I could to be of service to others. I was still writing out exercise plans for my clients. I was given, even though I was in this bed between surgeries, I wanted to feel useful. It made me feel good to have a purpose. And so the nurses would come in and I would give them exercise tips on like how to get that Brazilian butt, or I would listen to them and give them suggestions. Just like my grandmother did to me when I was growing up, I would share stuff with them. And in fact, on Instagram yesterday, one of my nurses that I met in the hospital that I was really close to, I just saw that she bought my book and she reposted it. And at the time, I didn't know that she wasn't already a nurse. I guess she was studying to be a nurse and she was there. And I was so touched because she just wrote that my experience with her in the hospital inspired her to go and be a nurse. And
Wow.
I thought, oh my goodness, you never know who you've impacted. She impacted me. And then I was in tears when I was reading it yesterday that I impacted her to become a nurse. So it's amazing just where your journey leads you to. And I'm grateful it led me to you so that we could meet and we could share our experience with others.
Me too, Amberly. You're just such an inspiration. There's no way that anyone listening right now just can't be completely in awe of you and your journey and how God has healed you and worked in your life and how you hung on to your faith and just how you hung and clung onto life, but also you believed in yourself. And I think that's such a big piece of living full out, of living in your purpose and joy and passion, is really believing in yourself and your ability to rise above and live bigger and better than wherever you are right now today. You still have a choice to live
Yeah.
full
And
out.
I didn't always believe in myself. I really got doubtful. I doubted myself, and I felt broken, and I thought, what am I going to do? Who's going to want to train with me anymore? I used to train athletes. I used to train guys to train. My husband is a CHP. He was with the CHP. He just recently retired, but he was a lieutenant with the highway patrol. And I used to train officers to take the test. I used to hold mitts for boxers. I was like the most active person. And I thought, I used to teach people to run. And I thought, I can't run the way I used to. I doubted myself. And so I had to learn new tools and how to believe in myself. And I found whenever I didn't believe in myself, it helped when others gave me some belief, someone that some support. And it really taught me the importance of teamwork because
Yeah.
I was so self-willed, I got this, I don't need any help. And my God, when you depend on someone to carry your bedpan, it's a humbling experience. And I realized I need help.
Yeah.
I needed help from now I needed my clients more than they needed me. I
Mm.
needed to have that purpose. I needed to get back to work. I was grateful that I had friends that stepped in and helped. My youngest daughter was 2 at the time,
Oh
and I
my.
couldn't even stand up. I couldn't even really hold her. It was a learning experience too, and a humbling experience. And I'm grateful that I had those people, and I learned the value of just asking for help, accepting help, knowing when I need help. And
Mhm.
um, I've learned the value of a tribe, and now I love connecting with people. So I love the power of connection. And I have I learned really it was through reaching out and sharing my story, and I was able to connect with other people that have the same disease that I have, and that also live in chronic pain, and also people who want to empower others. And it's an amazing way of just, I feel like we can do it on our own, but I feel like together we're unstoppable, you know?
So true. I mean, the power of a tribe, the power of people around us is it's explosive, really. I mean, it's so important. Every single series that I've done, almost every speaker has talked about the importance of each other and the importance of friends and companions and people
Oh,
along the journey who encourage us and equip us and pick us up when we're down. And I just, the power of each other is so much bigger than the power of us by ourselves.
oh
I
yeah.
mean, I think that's why, when we're at our worst, we're completely isolated when we pull away. And so when we're at our best is when we're with each other, encouraging and equipping and, the good times and the bad, right?
Yeah.
Because life goes up and down, and it's about being in those high and low places with each other. So I love that about, your
Yeah.
journey is that it's full of people.
I was really isolating, and I don't know, somewhere in between surgery, 26 and 32. I don't know. I was giving up hope.
Mm.
And I feel like we all have this light inside of us, and mine was really dim. And thank God I had a little bit of light left in me, enough to get me to reach out. And it was when I surrendered to the pain and stopped fighting the pain, but thought, okay, this is it. This is what I'm going to have to live with. So I'm going to have to do something about it. I have to get out of this isolation. And I did. I had to reach out. And it was when I started to reach out to others to gain some strength to keep moving forward. And I tell you, I have been so blessed on my book tour to be surrounded by such supportive people. And it is what has kept me going. It is, comments on my social media that from people, it just touches my heart. And like you said, it's so empowering to have that tribe of people
Yeah.
surround you and love you. And that's why I'm just all about connecting and supporting one another.
For sure. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and we were talking about the idea of receiving. Some of us are such givers. We give and give and give. But in order to be a really good giver, you also have to be able to receive,
That was a
and
lesson,
be able to
to
take
me.
what people are giving us gratefully, gracefully, and lovingly. So being able to receive is difficult for people. Oh, I can do it myself, and I don't want to bug people, but that in itself is be a taker mentality rather than, okay, I graciously and openly receive the gifts that you have for me, to close the circle of giving, receiving, and generosity. And I love that you're not only a giver, but you receive gracefully.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine that taught me that, and I love learning from people. And one day I walked in the gym and she said, "Oh, you look so beautiful today." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm kind of tired." And oh no. And she said, "I just gave you a gift. I told you you looked beautiful and you threw it back in my face and it doesn't feel good." She said, "You need to learn to say thank you." And I was like, "Oh, wow." And I heard her and I was like, okay, it was really a lesson in sometimes even if you don't, like more often than not, like I don't feel beautiful, but when someone tells you that, it feels good to them when you say thank you, and
Right.
it helps build your, just your self-esteem as well. So
Right.
it was a big lesson for me to learn. I'll never forget when she said that. I was like, oh,
That's a good friend, right? The wounds of of a friend are better than the wounds of an enemy. Amberly, tell us about your book and a little bit about your book tour and your speaking. I know you do lots of speaking, so tell us about that. Also, tell the audience about how they could book you if they wanted you to come speak to their audience.
Oh, I would love that. You can find me at amberlylago.com, AMBERLYLAGO.com, and all my future events there. You can also grab a copy of True Grit and Grace there. I've been busy on the book tour doing book signings and speaking, and it's been really exciting. I just gave a speech on night before last, and I'm doing my next book signing in Dallas. But you can also find out my next future events. I'm doing a lot of speaking if you go to my events page at amberlylago.com. And if you want daily inspiration and motivation and just tools on and tips on what I do to keep stepping forward and embracing yourself and to have a little hope. I call myself a hope dealer because I like to hand out hope. I do inspirational posts on my social media, which is Amberly Lago, Amberly Lago Motivation on Instagram, and motivational speaker Amberly Lago on Facebook. And
Great.
yeah, so, and you can buy my book on Amazon or Barnes and Noble at your local bookstore.
That's great. And on Amazon. Yeah, you said that.
Amazon.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest. They make it so easy now. It's just
Mm,
like
so
we
easy.
have Amazon Prime and it's dangerous. It's like one click, got it overnight.
I know. Yeah, it's dangerous. I'm with you on that one. Amberly, if you had to tell our audience one tip about how to live full out, how to live with joy, purpose, and make an impact in this world, what would your one sentence or your one tip for our audience be?
I think it's all about willingness. As
Okay.
long as you show up and you have the willingness and a desire to do something, we all have that resilience within ourselves, and it's all right there, ready just to be claimed. So no matter what you're going through in life, no matter if it's a lost job or lost love, just by embracing where you are and who you are and the belief in yourself, no matter what your circumstances are, you have the power to live the life you've always imagined.
Mm.
Just keep being willing and surround yourself by positive people that believe in you.
Awesome.
That was a long sentence. Was that a sentence?
I think it was more like a paragraph. That's okay. A sentence, a paragraph. It's all good. I think that's awesome. That willingness, that surrender to, your life and what's actually happening. It's kind of like that idea of living your truth, right? When you begin to live your truth, that's when you can begin to expand and be fully alive. When you embrace the idea of, okay, this like isn't what I thought my life was going to be like. And you live into the truth of that is what sets you free, right?
Yeah,
So
and my life is just expanding into something beyond my wildest dreams, and I'm just so grateful for that, and I'm so grateful to meet you, and thank you for having me on.
thank you for joining us, Amberly. It's just been delightful getting to know you and your heart and your passion for people and how you love yourself. And you're just such an inspiration to me. And I know to our listeners, it's just going to be, thank you, Amberly, for joining us. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.